Welcome everybody. This will be an in-depth guide for all platforms with some tips and tricks specific for Season 9. Although the majority of the guide is going to be very season independent. The guide's going to be separated into 7 sections. The first one's going to be landing, next we have looting, then harvesting, 4th is building and inventory management, 5 is personal growth, aim and building practice, number 6 will be the placebo effect, and 7 I'm going to have my closing statements. I'm really interested in what people will have to say about my take on number 6, so if you feel like maybe there's something more important that I missed or neglected, I'd love to hear some feedback in the comments. Alright, so landing will definitely decide the rest of the game. See what kind of mood you're going for. If you're a big 20 limb kid, you're going right into tilted towers. Maybe you're a little new, maybe you're not so good. You're going maybe some unmarked house over by some unnamed location maybe. But that really does set the mood. And what you're going to want to notice here is the ones that are marked in yellow. Those are called the hot drop locations, and they will have drones flying around with maybe some good loot. You can shoot out of that. Maybe get a nice yellow, orange, maybe a blue, who knows. All you gotta know in general, the more central the location, the more hectic it's gonna be. A little more chaos, a little more reward, a little more risk. Alright, Season 9 specific trick alert here. So generally, when you're a certain distance from the ground, your parachute slash umbrella will open. But if you go into one of these sky bases and go straight through one of those tubes, there is no limit, there is no auto deploy. You can hit straight to the ground right from the drop. As of right now, the trick only works for the sky bases, or it's really finicky for the other slipstreams, but odds are for normal slipstreams, 9 out of 10 times, it's not going to work. The other stuff we got here is height that you gain from these slipstreams is dependent on how fast you're moving up at the time. So if you go all the way from the bottom, it will push you a little bit higher than if you were just to bounce off and skip off the top like some sort of stone. But the time you put into it might not be worth it. You know, somebody might be freaking shooting at you and chasing you. So generally, it's probably not worth the effort unless you're going somewhere that's real far away. As you go on, you'll kind of learn what your favorite drops are. Maybe if you're playing a little more carefully, you want to go lucky landing, you want to go to one of the 4 corners. Maybe you want a quick 2-minute game, you'll drop tilted every time. Who knows? For looting, the only real tip I have for you is generally it's better to go for floor weapons that you know are not explosives than to go for chests and maybe get a grenade launcher and say, well, can't really defend myself now. If somebody else is going for a chest or they're trying to break into a room with a chest, generally it's better to pickaxe them. You'll probably kill them before they get to the gun, but sometimes it might have some negative consequences. And I'd just like to stick in there, streamer mode doesn't give you better loot. Don't listen to your friends. Oh, I see another miniature. For harvesting, the goal is to get as many materials as possible in the shortest amount of time. So for that, for wood, you're going to want to prioritize the big thick trees and try to skim away from the elm trees because those go down in about a hit or 2. And for things like rock and metal, then again, the same big rocks are going to be your best friend, and the best thing for metal would be cars or the semi-vehicles. And generally, buildings will give you less materials than trees, rocks, and other such metal deposits. If you're using a controller, or maybe you're not having the best aim, you can also try to find things that are destroyed in one hit, such as things like the shrubs or other such farms in the backyards of houses. Unless you're hitting the dots while you're farming, the one-shotable things will generally give you better returns for the time invested. Another thing to think about is it's generally beneficial to have more wood, as even though it has a lower health, the base health that the wood has when you place it is much higher than the stone and metal. And the time it takes to get to its full HP is much faster as it builds much faster.
The thing is, they did make them better, but there's...
Oh, you're getting shot at? There? Oh. So the main point of building is either to A, block yourself off from the enemy, or B, get it high ground as fast as possible. Generally, you are going to want to mix both, where you need protection, just like right there, and also getting high ground, just like right there. Sometimes it's easier to just shoot down somebody else's building than it is to keep fighting them. When you're competing with another player to get high ground, this is known as a build fight. In a build fight, your goal is to get as high as possible while preventing the other person from getting any higher by building over them. Another thing to note is that if you're trying to build efficient structures to get high ground, it will waste a lot of materials, so you better hope that they have some more too to help you out. The most popular and effective method to get high ground is what's called doing 90s. This is when you box up all around you, build a stair, build a floor, and do the same thing over and over until you get high ground. The name 90 comes from the fact that you won't either be going in one direction or straight up generally, and since you're going to be going in a different direction, it has the added side effect of them not being able to predict where you're going to try to build over you. Also, you need, and I can't stress this enough, you need independent keybinds for building. If you're on console and you're using Builder Pro, you got it, they're already there. If you're on PC, no, pressing Q is not good enough. You are gonna need to get keybinds. Right away, I thought I'd be able to, but no, it's so much easier to just panic build a wall or something, or stairs really quick. Trust me, you need. And this part isn't as important, so I decided to sneak it in last. Find a good inventory management setup that works for you. A lot of people like to have weapons to the left and consumables and equipment to the right. And there is an option in the settings to automatically put all of your consumables that you pick up towards the right side of your bar. Just one thing you should understand is if you're playing on a controller, with Builder Pro settings, which I recommend, you're going to have to scroll all the way left and right with the bumpers to get to whatever you want, so try to group everything that's important together. And here we have Team Rumble. This is going to be your one-stop shop for practicing and getting better, or just screwing around and getting challenges done with friends. Although harvesting rate in Team Rumble is considerably lower than Playground, I think it's more important to learn to build in Team Rumble, as you're going to have other people to build against as opposed to yourself or maybe just one or two friends. And also, if you die, it doesn't really matter, you just come right back. So if you're new, you don't have to worry about spending 5 minutes harvesting trees, getting the guns that you like, searching ammo chests, and then getting killed by somebody who's been doing this far, far longer than you have. And if you're a console player that's considering switching to mouse and keyboard for Arena, since when you die, no worries. Go back and clap the dude that killed you. No reboot van required. This is probably the most important tip I can give you. No matter how much practice you put in, no matter how many times you get into a fight and lose, it's not going to stop you from needing to do some of this. This is what you need to do to win. Well, yes, but actually, no. It's not about buying a soccer skin. It's not about buying a Season
please.
1 Purple
Where's
Skull
the credit
Trooper
card?
account.
Please, I'll do
It's not
anything.
even about buying any skin at all. It's all about tricking yourself into thinking you're gonna win, into thinking you're lucky. It's all about having a ritual or a skin or a favorite gun that makes you think you're gonna be luckier. If you think wearing a soccer skin makes people more scared of you, use it. If you think fish stick helps you win the game, well, you should probably be using it then. Do you need to do the orange justice 27 and a half times in the lobby before you get into a game? Well, maybe that'll work. Anything that you can do to make you think you're getting an upper hand on anybody else, being able to mentally prepare is half the battle. The most important thing you could do. And it's important to know that even if you don't win, you're always still getting better. You can't expect to win your very first game because not many people do. Not many people can do things right the first time. You have to keep working towards it and getting better. And one day, you'll get it.
Oh, goodness.
You are the Apex champions.
Wrong clip. Alright, she's down, she's on the tree.
Let's go!
You'll get it. This is Ajax saying, I hope you had a good day, and I hope you have a good night.